two kinds of growth. Both are all around us everywhere. Loving care and attention flowers this way. Their beauty is the result of cultivation. But this is accidental growth. No care, no cultivation, no love, no attention, left throughout life to the mercy of wind and weather. To grow straight and tall, the tree needs support, something to lean on, something firm nearby to guide its growth. Man plans his cities, his buildings carefully because he wants things to run smoothly and to grow according to a plan. Man does well with inanimate things, making them behave, but not so well with himself. Orderly growth for us is much more difficult, even with the finest of care and attention. Without something firm, something to lean on, there will still be growth, but random, haphazard, and frequently ugly. Sometimes it's a broken home that turns the young loose to make their way as best they can. Sometimes it's a death in the family, or it may be poverty that thrusts them into society to grow without plan or purpose. In every city they confront us, and their numbers are increasing. When they reach maturity, what kind of character will they have formed for them? Society depends upon the character of its people. And what is character? This is one example. It takes character to set things right, to make order out of disorder. Or this, called courtesy. And this too is character, meeting our obligations to our church and to our country. These are the signs of character, but how is it formed? This man builds it from an image in his mind. He knows the character he wants and how to get it. The mouth, perhaps, is not quite right. The expression in the eye can be altered until finally, because of labor and love and skill, something beautiful is fashioned. In the normal home, the character-building process starts early. The child was not born perfect. It must learn many things, and sometimes the lessons are hard indeed. In the normal home, the father and the mother are the artists who fashion character. All of this guidance and correction goes on every day, by word and by example. But when the character-forming influences are removed, when the child is left to find his own way, the character he makes for himself may not be a credit to society. Progressive citizens, the churches, local, state, and federal governments are aware of the plight of the child deprived, through no fault of his own, of the influences which help to build a healthy character, and are trying to help him. Here is just one of the many institutions in America today that has dedicated itself to the care and guidance of a few of our unfortunate children. It is owned and operated by the United Lutheran Synods of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi. A broken home, the death of one or both of the child's parents, the financial inability of parents to provide normal care, these are some of the factors which have brought youngsters to this home on the outskirts of Salem, Virginia, to begin a new life, to learn, as the more fortunate child learns, the job of being a respected and responsible member of society. It's a big home, normally accommodating between 80 and 100 youngsters, with plenty of elbow room on good fertile land. To gain admission, the home asks first that the child be between the ages of 4 and 12, that he have some Lutheran background or connection, that he be endorsed by his local pastor and the church council. But before he takes up residence at the home, each child must also have a complete physical, psychological, and if possible, a psychiatric examination. For it is the healthy, well-balanced child that is most likely to mature into a responsible, well-rounded adult. Following these steps, an on-the-scene investigation is made by a member of the home staff. This is really a get-acquainted session to help prepare the child for admission. Further, the home tries to contact the child's teacher and, of course, his pastor. Here's a group of new arrivals, full of wonder and uneasiness on their first day at the home. Each has his own personal problems. Each has come from a different environment. Each has been deprived in some way of parental care, love, and attention. The home will seek to make up for their loss. The first lesson to be learned is the old familiar one common to every child in every family, the art of learning to live together and to work together in harmony. There is so much to see here and so much to absorb that for a while everything is strange and different. Fortunate indeed are the children sponsored by the Lutheran churches for admission to the home. The process of character building is made easier because almost from the first moment of his arrival, he is made to feel that he is in good, kind hands. Where there was once uncertainty, there is now a sense of purpose and direction. Where there was privation and harsh living, there is now a feeling of plenty. The countryside itself is, for many a new arrival, a profound contrast to city living. There are open skies, unclouded by smoke, growing things, clean, fresh air, and a feeling of space. Dramatic values which fill the child with awe and wonder. Like the child growing up in the conventional home, the new arrival here at the Lutheran Children's Home of the South makes another discovery. He senses order and method, which up to now may have been all but unknown. Subtle object lessons surround the child. Life moves by design. There are orderly work methods for everything. There is helpfulness in the spirit of friendship. No one need tell these children why order and neatness are important. They can see for themselves. The example and encouragement of others is always a powerful inducement to do likewise. Character building carried on in a quiet, effective manner. Everywhere the newcomer turns, there are new things to learn and object lessons which quickly impress themselves on his mind. For instance, the need to care for and maintain the home itself. The trucks and other pieces of equipment which must be used for essential services every day. The scrupulous care exercised in the kitchen to prepare food and to keep things orderly and spotless. The care which must be expended on a flock of chickens raised by the home each year. The care which must be given to the soil itself to make things grow. All this the newcomer sees and absorbs every day at the home. He takes pride in being a part of all this activity and quickly learns to accept willingly his share of responsibility in the day-to-day operations of this large family. The sound, business-like management of the Lutheran Children's Home is yet another inspiration for young minds. And all around there are responsible children and adults working with good humor, friendship, and efficiency. For the first few weeks or even months, the newcomer is conscious of a wealth of wholesome activity. There is always something new and interesting going on. It may be a big Boy Scout camporee in which the children of the home participate. Or the fun that accompanies the Christmas holidays and the annual visit of Santa Claus to greet the children and to pass out special gifts. Something new may also include snow. For many a new arrival, this is indeed a winter wonderland, full of breathless thrills and excitement. "12 months of the year, there is novelty to keep the mind alive and the child in good health. Gradually, a sense of other, deeper values begin to enter the child's thinking. For example, the services which abound at the home, like the transportation which carries them to and from school. the books that the home provides for classwork, the library within the home itself, housing more than 3,000 volumes covering a wide range of subjects from fiction to science and mathematics. The dental and medical care which is so carefully provided. These are the things that make an indelible impression on the child newly arrived from conditions of want and neglect. Of course, every effort is made to work with parents or relatives to rebuild the child's own home, if it is possible, and in numerous cases this has been done. But while the child is here, he feels both awe and gratitude that so much has been done for his well-being. But inevitably, the child will ask, where does the money come from? The healthy young mind quickly grasps the fact that all of the good things to be seen and felt had to be provided by money. Very naturally, the question forms, who did all of this for me? They will be told that the home depends for its existence upon the generous contributions of Lutheran synods and congregations throughout the South, as well as the contributions of generous individuals who feel a deep responsibility toward the citizens of tomorrow. The children are told that these people are their benefactors, that without their generosity, none of the good things around them would be possible. They're told that the men and women of these synods are in truth their foster parents, and that these Christian people living throughout the southeastern portion of the United States are providing them with this care and comfort because they're sincerely interested in their well-being. Every child here knows that somebody cared a lot for him. And the children are asked to remember in their prayers the kindness of all the good people who have helped them. As time passes, the new arrival develops fast friends and finds himself taking the planned, orderly routines of the home in his stride. There's a time for school, a time for work, a time for study, for watching TV, and for outdoor fun. All members of the home staff, of course, lend a hand where they are needed and encourage the children to participate in recreational activities. The vital process of character building never stops. Both the practical and the material are given their due consideration, but of far greater importance is the development of the child's spiritual nature. The home's spiritual advisor is the pastor of the nearby college Lutheran church. Part of his duties include catechetical instruction for each child, to be given over a period of 2 years. The children are eager to learn and are grateful for the bulwark of strength their faith provides them. Religion is the essential ingredient which sets this home apart from many other secular institutions. Here, religion is a way of life, so much so that several former members of this family are now ordained Lutheran ministers. Morning devotions are regularly conducted in the dining room. The evening devotions take place in the children's cottages. The supreme importance of God in our lives is highlighted not only by the spiritual advisor, but by members of the staff as well. Regular attendance at Sunday school and church is required. Many sing in the choir. The individual's obligation to support his church is another important part of the child's education at the Lutheran Children's Home of the South. Confirmed boys and girls contribute 10 cents a week to church, and all children contribute 5 cents a week to the Sunday school. This money is in addition to their allowances. Next to religion in importance is the stress the home's management gives to the traditional American spirit of competitive free enterprise. There are numerous ways in which the child learns that it is his personal effort, his personal contributions which win awards. This young lady is studying hard to make the school honor roll. To do so, her marks must be halfway between C+ and B. Younger children who achieve scholastic distinction are treated to ice cream or perhaps an outing. Older members of the family receive rewards in money. Athletic youngsters find rewards for their special abilities too. To the potential basketball star, the reward may be a valued pair of shoes or other item of equipment. At work or at play, the atmosphere of competition is encouraged. The child learns that effort and intelligence count. Good manners, good character, and social graces are also encouraged. These young ladies have been invited out to dinner. It is a continued source of pride to the home's management that comments from community friends and neighbors about the poise, grace, and breeding of these young people are uniformly good. They are respected and welcomed in every home they visit. Because of the emphasis the home places on the development of character, and because of the healthy atmosphere of competition which exists in the family, it is not surprising that many of the children during their last years in high school should develop a keen interest in continuing their education at the college level. The home supplies financial help if it is necessary through the Whistment Fund. This and other funds available to the home have assisted a number of young people in obtaining a college education. The happiest time of the year for everyone at the home comes on the third Sunday in June. And for good reason. This is Homecoming Day, the day when former members of the family are reunited on the grounds they've grown to love and cherish. Like family reunions everywhere else, one of the first things to be done is to pose for a group picture for the family album. They return to the home from a wide variety of locations. Many faces here on Homecoming Day have been absent from the familiar surroundings for long periods of time. For others, only a year or two separates them from the days when they helped with the chores, studied, and carried out the day-to-day routines of the home. Old ties are felt again as former members of this family greet each other and reminisce over a genuinely happy childhood. For present members of the home and for the new arrivals, Homecoming Day is a powerful experience. The children can look upon these men and women and say, maybe he slept in my bed, or maybe she found it just as hard to diagram a sentence as I do now. The alumni on Homecoming Day is clear proof of the home's effectiveness in building character, or as a noted author once remarked, sow an act and reap a habit, sow a habit and reap a character, sow a character and reap destiny. From the example of the alumni, the child knows he is on the right road, that his future is in good hands, that in time he too will come back on some third Sunday in June, bursting with pride in his accomplishments, and that he too will, on that day, make a profound impression on the mind and heart of another child who has taken his place here within this enduring family. Coincidental with homecoming is the annual meeting of the Board of Trustees. The recurring item on their agenda is a familiar one, money. Like all other families, this one is faced with the problem of rising prices on one hand and expanding needs on the other. These responsible people inspect the grounds and buildings and hear the report of the home superintendent. The 4 cottages housing about 100 children are old and in need of modernization. When modernization is completed, it will cut down on living space, and so the Board of Trustees visualizes the necessity of constructing 1 and possibly 2 additional cottages. In the future, deserving youngsters may be turned away because space does not permit their joining the family. Also of concern to the home's management and the Board of Trustees is the need for expanded recreational facilities. In particular, there is need for a recreational building. Just as the modern home needs a recreation room, so too does the children's home needs a similar structure. Only the generous support of members of the Lutheran faith in the southern states can bring these plans into being. But important as additional revenue is to the home's management and Board of Trustees, of even greater importance are the prayers and good wishes of all those who have come to realize the religious nature of this undertaking and its effect on future generations. In our complex world, there are many problems which cannot be solved by money alone. Money cannot provide love or patience or an understanding of the minds and the emotions of childhood. Only through prayer can these intangibles be provided. Not everyone can make a contribution to the home in terms of money, but there is no bar or limitation on the power of prayer. Here at the Lutheran Children's Home of the South, a Christian work is going forward, salvaging for tomorrow a few of today's children of neglect and misfortune. Since its organization in 1888, over 1,000 boys and girls have gone out into the world with a Christian background. Without the home, without its care, attention to Christian ideals, and the formation of a healthy character, these 1,000 might well have been a negative rather than a positive influence on our society. Today, the need for strong, practicing Christian men and women is greater than at any time in history. Only a few of the children of misfortune can be taken into this home and given the sense of purpose and determination necessary to cope with the problems of our age and time. If the number of children who come to this home is small compared to the number who must be left to their own devices or to find solace in other institutions, this fact should not darken the overall picture. The quality of the work already accomplished, the fruitful and positive results already recorded in the history of the Lutheran Children's Home of the South should be a source of pride and consolation to those who have given so generously in the past to this establishment. The important thing is that this good work should continue, that no child should be denied the advantage of its proven character-forming environment for the reason that funds were not available. The youth of today are in our hands, to be shaped as an influence for good or for evil. In a land of plenty, let it not be said that we were wanting in generosity for our own. Let it not be said of us that we fail to hear these words, "For I was hungry, and you gave me to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me to drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in."